Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in this world, and thank you for joining. And thank you again, Chris and the Redline team, to invite myself to this event. Okay, so let me uh, uh, give you a small introduction about myself. Myself, Piyush Patel, and I have been in the software testing industry from since last more than 10 plus of years, and I have been working as an performance test engineer from last 5 years when JMeter was 3.0, and right now I am associated with SQALogic, and we at the SQALogic are a network of expert very passionate about quality assurance. We operate projects around the world, and we have been using this Redline 13 technology for our mandates, and we'll be happy to be a part of this event. And I must say we are a very proud Redline 13 user. Okay, so until further delay, I gonna move to my next slide, and want to show you guys some of the hidden gems of JMeter and Redline 13. No, it is not the actual gems. I'm not going to fetch or extract any Kohinoor out of this, but I want to show you some of the couple of good ways, some of the couple of good ideas uh, to make our end client very happy in each and every mandates. And as a service providing company, we really meant that. So uh, so here are the few of the topics I am going to discuss today. The number one is generate test data. So how we can generate the test data while executing our script. How we can fetch the dynamic value from the regular expression to generate a realistic data after the executions. And number three is how we can execute a script, a JMeter script, without actually digging into the script and by only using Redline 13 uh, platform. So let me move to my first topic, generate test data at runtime. So test data looks very simple, but it is hard to find. Here test data doesn't mean only like we have to create a CSV file and integrate that CSV file into the JMeter thread group. Here I mean sometime we have to create a new script or a dependent script to create the test data. So I have a recent experience while I was working with a big customer in one of their load testing mandate. So the application involved the Oracle NCA type of forms. Uh, and though I was very new to Oracle NCA types of applications, I also resolve the existing issue in the script and also prepare a new script within two days of time. Okay, and the new script was to be executed with 200 virtual user load from the load runner cloud. That means we need 200 test data. And now my hustle begin. I ask my point of contact to provide me the required data. He hooked me to a team lead, and then team lead hooked me to a DevOps, and DevOps guy need the approval from the senior management, like the VP or the project manager, some a big guy. And what and I went into loop to get the test data. You won't believe it took me 2 days to get the proper test data. Hence, there is a delay in the mm, mandate. Okay, so let's consider a scenario where we need to generate a test data before executing the actual script. So let's think think of a scenario where you need to prepare a script for editing customer details. So obviously you need a CSV file in which there is some of the data relating to the customers, such as customer ID, its GU ID, or customer name, or customer email address. And then by using that CSV file, you can actually call that CSV file from the CSV data config in your script, and then you can execute the script. But what happens now, your client does not have that data in their DB. So there is only way to generate those type of data, that you have to first prepare a script for adding a customer. Then you have to ask the backend team to provide you the required data. So we can also use a other option. We can fetch the customer ID from adding a cus- customer script and save it into a CSV file. So this way we can also generate the test data for edit customer script, and we don't have to ask anyone. So to do so, we have to add a Bincell post processor, uh, post post processor under the adding customer request. So let's check the code here. So if you can see this message is a regular expression which is come from a from come from the adding customer response, and whatever message was stored inside this regex, it's stored into MSG variable, and same as the username, the GA date, and test run date. Okay, so and then you have to write f equal to new file output stream. So this file output stream is a JavaScript function, and you have to pass two of the argument. One, you have to provide the path where you want to save your CSV file, and second argument, you have to provide true if you want to append all the responses in one file. If you leave blank, then this output won't be override in the same file. And then there is other function called new print stream, and here is one more function called print. So print, and here you have to pass all the variable over here, and this comma would be differentiate each of the value in the cell in our CSV. So as you can see in this image, as you can see in this image, this is the output of that code. So all four of the values are been print in a row. So this is the runtime test run date value, this is customer ID, this is the message, and this is GA date. So in this way you can fetch all the data, or whatever specific you want to fetch, you can fetch into the CSV file, and then you can use this CSV file as an test data for the another script. So let's say you want to run this Bincell script from the Redline 13. So only you have to change this path name, output slash the file name dot CSV. So once you execute the script in the Redline 13, go to output file, and here you can download that file from this folder. So this way at least we can generate a test data, without depending on the other teams, without getting the approvals from the other teams member. Okay, so let's move to next, sorry, topic. Fetch, how we can fetch dynamic value from the regex. So as we all are aware that regular expression is a part of correlation. And I must say, if someone is master in in doing the correlation, then he is a master of JMeter. So in this slide, I want to explain you about why and how do we need to fetch dynamic value when doing the correlating. So just think of a logistic application. So in that application there are various modules, from uh, creating a invoice, shipping, and many more. So let's take the example of sale shipment page. So as you can see in this image, there are multiple drop downs, there are dates, there are text boxes you have to enter before you can add a new line item. So your job is to prepare the script where you have to select the values from this drop down, this all the different drop downs, and then click on the add lines button. Then a new row will be added below here. So once you record the script in JMeter and reach to a point where you need to correlate these values, this drop down and text box value, I think most of us use a regular expression extractor, and is the and in the match count, and is the match number, we generally put one or two, one or two. So what it does, it always fetch the first value from the match count in the responses. So let's say now we have to execute this script with a load of 200 user. So once the execution is done, what happened in the DB? All the 200 entries have the same data. All entries are like look alike. That is not the real data type. That is not a realistic data. So every user has his own selection from this drop down. So let's say user one select FedEx, user two say select DHL, or user three select any other thing. So we have to manipulate the match number from in this regular expression extractor. And this is not possible for us to change the match number each and every time before we execute the script. So for that we can use a random string function, and we can replace the one with this random string function. So what it will does, every time this regular expression call, it it will automatically replace with a new number from this given string. So let's say number one user come, it will fetch 3, number 2 user come, it will fetch 6, and so on and so forth. So this way, at least we can generate some of the realistic data, and and some of the more real type of data without junking the DB. Okay, so let's move to our next slide, and this one is my favorite one. I don't want to open JMeter. Client, stakeholder, or the project manager don't want to open the JMeter. We must hear this sentence from our end clients. I think most of our end clients are not from like performance testing background, and as an output of a performance testing mandate, we have to provide the report of the current execution, means the result review, any graph, anything, as an output of the current execution and the develops script. But when we provide that data to our end client, there is a question always arise: how I can run this script going forward? how I can execute this script in every sprint, every release of the production. Do I need to install the JMeter? Do I need to change something in the script before executing this script? This question might arise, when our client is not from the performance testing background. So I don't have idea of any other tool, but with Redline 13 we can achieve this. So JMeter have a function called property. It's symbolized as P. It generally used to read a property, read a property like from an external sources. To access this property value, we can use dollar double underscore p and with a braces, and inside this braces we can put our variable name. So we can use this thing. And one of the most interesting file of the JMeter is JMeter properties. If you can go to the bin folder, you can search jmeter.property. It contain all the major property of the JMeter which are important in the testing. There are numerous property. uh, there are also some of the common property, and also there are some more specific one. So any many of their value and we help during the testing right at the runtime. So don't be confused between property and variable. Properties are not same as variable. Variable are like a local to the thread group. So let's say there are 3 4 thread groups in a script. So you don't so a variable would not be called from thread group 1 to thread group 3. Whereas if you can use a property, it is common to all the thread. We can call the property value from a thread group to another thread group. So just note that wherever you want to input some value at the runtime, you can use the property function. So once you set this property function in the JMeter script, let's move to Redline 13 and see how we can use this property from there. So once you sign in into your Redline account and upload the JMX file and all the test data file, scroll down to advanced JMeter test option. Here you get an option to specify the command. So this command only execute at runtime. So what it will do, the j key and value replace uh, by the property what we have been used in the script. So here if you can see, I have used p and my variable is availability thread count. So here as a part of the string, I can use j dash j availability thread count is equal to 0. Thread count is equal to 0. So what is it does when we start the test execution, this j key and this value would be automatically changed in the jmx file, and this script would be execute only for 10 user. So this way we can change the ramp up time as well, without really open the JMeter, opening this JMX file, saving the JMX file, then again upload to this Redline 13. Okay, the another thing we can also use for the data file. So let's say you use a one type of data file for execution one, and you made some changes into the data, and now again you want to use the updated data file into the existing script. So So what you can do, just change the file name into the CSV data config, and put the variable name. And and while executing that script from the Redline13, you just use j, that variable which you have been used in the CSV data config, and put the file name. So this way we can use we can change the data for example, thread count, ramp up, any data file, without opening the JMeter, without digging into the script. So only use this property where you might think that the client has to be changed some value at the time of runtime. Yeah, so with this, I think I am ending my presentation, and I hope it will help you guys in some of the context, and I will happy to answer your questions
Great.
if any.
Thanks, Parish. Yes, you do have some questions and some
Oh,
comments. So I'll post them up here. And yeah, so let's see. So here was one we had. Can you see the question that I'm posting?
yes, G. Narendra Reddy.
Yeah.
How we can pick the data on the fly? Yeah, to pick the data on the fly, I think we have to first execute the script. So while executing the script, we can call whatever we need into the CSV file. So that way we can pick the data while executing the script.
All right. And then you got a couple comments, and
Hmm.
if you have something you want to say about these here.
Auto scaling does not solve your performance problem. Okay. Yes, Naveen. So auto scaling might solve the performance problem, but my presentation was around how you can build a robots script, to make our client very happy, and share a script from where he can utilize the script from like each and every releases, each and every sprint. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And then, uh, actually, all right, Naveen Kumar said something else. Let's see.
Yes, Naveen, we are on same page. Yeah.
All right. I like it when our other speakers, okay. And here's a speaker. He also had a comment. So Nick spoke at the last Load Test World. So this is something he just had to say. So it's not a
I
question,
use
but a comment.
hmm. Okay, I use something similar to run load test scenario. Yeah, that's great, Nick. Yeah, it's really good to hear that some of the folks are also think in my way, and we are like-minded peoples. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick.
Um, so we have an opportunity to. There's still a couple more minutes here. If you have a question, I'm going to just do a couple little comments or more maybe commercials here. But we have some other things for you to check out. So there will be a break here when we're finished here. So you'll have a 30-minute break. So you have an opportunity to go to the SQALogic. That's where Piyush
Hmm.
works at. You can go to their booth. You can also go to the Redline13 booth. And if you have any questions really, please stop by there. Um, and let's see. Oh, we have another question here. Let's post this here. This is I'm posting this up.
What about fetching data and Kitet? Acha, I guess
It
it is a
means
create.
create.
Create a hash map out of it and use the data from that whenever the data is needed. Have you used this? Yeah, yeah. Mithali, I have been use this hash map for one of our mandates. So really, what hash map do? We can't like fetch the data in our required format, always when we have to fetch the data, we have to use the same data into another script. So I've been given one example. We need the data for the edit a customer script. So for that we have to create a add customer script before, you know and by using hash maps, I don't think we can get the data in the required format. Yes, Italy. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks. All right. And a couple other things. We still have another minute or two if you have a question. And while we're waiting on that, I mentioned about the polls that we have there. Um, and we'd also love your suggestions. Just put it in the comments. You're curious how many people do XYZ, or how many, whatever you're interested in. And we'll possibly use that as a poll and create that. So you can click on the polls. You can also click on people and see who else is here and connect with other people. There's also a couple of questions in the Q&A section, and I would ask that you take a look there, and if you can just spend a moment and answer that, it really would help us in planning for the next Load Test World. And I can tell you what the questions are. It's basically, are there certain topics that you would like to see and see here in the next Load Test World? And also, is there anyone in particular you would suggest as a speaker? And as I said in there, it's absolutely okay to suggest yourself if you are interested in speaking. Um, and no one here is a professional speaker, but we thank
Yeah.
Piyush and everyone else who has been a speaker. It's really just others in the load testing community who have something to share out, and we're all trying to learn from each other. So,
Yeah.
all right. So with that, I will thank you, Piyush, for being part of Load Test World.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris, and thanks all guys. Yeah. Bye. Have a great day.